Chronically online Twitter users have led me to the conclusion that I am the reason that Disney, Star Wars, and all these other projects are failing because I just won't stop complaining on the internet, so surely it must be my fault. Hi y'all, SnarkyJay cosplay here. So this video is going to be a little bit different. I want to talk about some internet discourse that is going on about the effect of reviewers and commentators on YouTube having an influence, a negative influence, on the market, on products, on different projects that get released. And you might have already heard a little bit about this, but let me give you some background. So Marques Brownlee is literally one of the biggest YouTubers there is, and most of his content centers around tech reviews. So not that long ago, he put out a video talking about the worst product he's ever reviewed. But all this discourse started rising up because essentially they started claiming that his exceedingly negative review could basically bankrupt the company making this product, and that it was somehow unfair of him to talk about this being the worst product he'd ever reviewed, and it sort of seemed like people felt that he should have been a little more gentle in reviewing this product. You guys know I don't believe in gentle, so we're gonna talk about this. Now, it might not seem like I have a brilliant point of reference because obviously Marques and I have very different content. He does really well thought out, well-reviewed tech videos, and I essentially complain about pop culture, and I review movies. I kind of just come at you with like, I like this, or I didn't hear my points of reference, take it or leave it. So as reviewers, we essentially have not just the privilege, but also the opportunity to come on here on our own channel and talk about something that we experienced. In Marques's case, it's a product. In my case, let's say a piece of content that I've watched and I want to come on here and talk about it and I want to review it. Let's say I had been invited to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and I made a review about how I went to one of these fabulous movie theaters. I got free popcorn and drinks, and it was such a great time, and the movie seats were so comfy. You know what? I gave the movie a 10 out of 10. You and I both know that that movie stinks. So if you took my good review and said, well, I mean, I normally agree with Jay, and you went and watched that movie and you were like, hey, this is a big heaping pile of dog shit. And I said, yes, I know, but they invited me for free and they treated me so well that I decided to play polite. Listen to me, there is no room for politesse in reviews. And I saw the video that Marques did, and Marques was much nicer about a very expensive piece of shit than I've been about movies that I saw for free. Here's the thing, guys, is that by being a YouTuber and having a following, almost everything any of us reviews, we watch or experience for free. These companies send Marques this for free. I get invited to premieres for free, and I don't just get invited to premieres, I do promo events where on the red carpet I might get to meet a celebrity, or I might get free finger foods and sandwiches and drinks. I might even get invited to go on a boat or do a cooking class. I get invited to a lot of different activities, and if I let that influence a review, then every movie I've ever seen essentially on this channel would be given 10 out of 10. You would think I was a sellout because you can't trust me anymore. I'm taking free popcorn and essentially just using that to boost the numbers of any movie I see so that I keep getting invited to stuff. It's my responsibility as somebody that I guess a lot of you would trust and listen to be honest with you. So with Marques, the product wasn't good. And so it is his responsibility as a trusted figure in the tech reviewing community to be honest about that product. Now, if I come on here and I say, hey, I think this trailer looks like crap, or I think season 3 of The Mandalorian was one of the most disappointing experiences of my life, if you come on here and tell me, well, hey, you should be grateful we got content in the first place, it's people like you that caused George Lucas to sell off Star Wars, that's bullshit. You know what? Make a good product. That's all it comes down to. When you consider all the people that produce a movie, a piece of content, or even a product, a lot of different faces and eyes that saw this thing before it went out the door and into the public. And when you put something out there on the internet, in the public eye, on broadcast, whatever, that means it is open to scrutiny, just like I do. I, every day, produce videos, and I put them on here, and I put things on Instagram. And essentially, by doing that, I'm essentially signing away my right to basic human decency. You could agree with me, but you might think, you're f***ing ugly. I think all of your opinions are wrong. You're a f***ing bimbo who's never gonna understand Dune because you're part of the TikTok generation and your attention span is screwed. F off with that. The point is that I have opened myself up to scrutiny by putting things out here to be reviewed by my peers. And that's exactly what these companies have done. By putting out a product, you let that product go out into the world to be either loved or attacked. And if you want the product to be treated gently with kid gloves so that your company doesn't go bankrupt, then put out a good product. I mean, my goal when I review a movie is never to see Lionsgate or Disney crash and burn, which I'm sure is not the goal of Marquez when he reviews anything either. We review things so that you guys know what to expect and what we thought of it, not to trash a company. We just want to review this and give our opinion. And if our opinion is something you're so afraid of, then your product sucks, and maybe you should go back into R&D and make it better. Maybe you should stop focusing on DEI and ESG scores and put out a better product so that I don't have to come on here pulling my hair out because you're ruining Star Wars. Now, I will acknowledge that there are some bad actors in the reviewing communities. There are a lot of channels out here that basically seem like they're never gonna like anything with a particular label in it. They're never gonna like anything with minorities or women in it. It's always going to be a problem, and therefore they're the ones that will borderline incite violence by calling for people not just to boycott Disney or something like that, but they'll also essentially try to send the hordes of their own fans to attack people like Daisy Ridley on the internet for the pure crime of being in the Star Wars sequels. That I don't agree with. I hated She-Hulk with every fiber of my being, but I would not send Tatiana Maslany, the star of the show, so much as even a thumbs down. I do not condone wanting to destroy anybody's life or anybody's business based off a shitty product. But what I will say is that a product that is shitty deserves shitty reviews. That's like blaming a restaurant's failure on a number of bad Google reviews and not the quality of the food inside the place. I mean, if you want good reviews, then how about you just serve salmon that isn't food poison?
Name withheld.
In Tampa? Sorry, I'm still a little bit bitter about the terrible food poisoning and infectious colitis I got last year and the fact that I can never eat salmon again. The point is that people with big followings have a responsibility not to the companies that ask them to review their work, but to the people that follow them. I feel that I owe you my honest opinion. Whether or not you're going to agree with it is an entirely different story. I never think about that before I put out a review, and I'm sure neither does Marquez. People like us want to put out things with journalistic integrity that are exactly what we feel and are true reflections of our experiences, and if we all stopped doing that, we'd be in a much more dishonest world than we're already living in. So if your company is at risk of going bankrupt because one guy said your product or piece of content sucked, well, maybe you deserve it. And that's all from me. I've been SnarkyJay. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For more SnarkyJay, be sure to check me out on Instagram, and if you'd like to support me, this channel, and my content creation, do check out and consider subscribing to my Patreon for exclusive photo shoot sets and content. I will add links to both in the description below. And let me know your thoughts on the responsibility of YouTubers to be polite when they review in the comments below.